Objects are connected on a BPMN diagram using a series of lines called sequence flows, message flows, and associations. A sequence flow is a solid graphical line that is used to show the order that the activities will be performed in a process. Each flow has only one source and one target. Additional sequence subflow types may represent certain conditions, such as a conditional flow, default flow, exception flow, uncontrolled flow, etc. To identify these conditions, certain icons are displayed on the line when drawn on the diagram. In other cases, the line type is determined by the connected objects. An association flow is used to connect one or more data objects, also called artifacts, to an activity, and to show that the data object is either an input or output to the activity. A message flow is drawn using a dashed line with a small circle at the beginning of the line. This line type is used to show the flow of messages between two entities that are prepared to send and receive them. In BPMN, two separate pools on the diagram will represent the two entities. A sequence flow can have condition expressions that are evaluated at runtime to determine whether or not the flow will be used. If the conditional flow is outgoing from an activity, then the sequence flow will have a mini diamond at the beginning of the line. For data-based exclusive decisions or inclusive decisions, one type of flow is the default condition flow. This flow will only be used if all of the other outgoing condition flows are not true at runtime. The default sequence flow will have a diagonal slash at the beginning of the line. An exceptions flow occurs outside the normal flow of the process, and it is based upon an immediate event that occurs during the performance of the process. The exception flow begins at the error, intermediate, or end event attached to the boundary of the activity, signifying an interruption in the activity. The exception flow is drawn as a sequence flow line type and is identified by the connecting objects. A compensation flow defines the set of activities that are performed during the rollback of a transaction to compensate for the activities that were performed during the normal flow of the process. Compensation can also be called from a compensation end or intermediate event. The compensation flow is drawn as a sequence flow line type and is identified by the connecting objects. A pool represents the participant in a process, and it also acts as a swim lane and graphical container for partitioning a set of activities from other pools. When a pool is added to a diagram, only the name of the pool is displayed. If the orientation of the pool symbol is vertical, the name of the pool and lanes are displayed at the top of the pool. Otherwise, the labels are drawn on the left-hand side of the pool. Pools whose width is greater than their height are vertical. A lane is a subpartition within a pool and will extend the entire length of the pool, either horizontally or vertically. Lanes are used to categorize the activities in the pool. If there is only one lane, then the lane shares the name of the pool. The lane labels will be displayed once a BPMN item is moved within the pool boundary. While BPMN does not specify the use of lanes, They are often used to identify internal roles, such as manager, associate, or systems, enterprise application, and internal departments, shipping, finance, sales. Artifacts are used to provide additional information about the process and are represented by a data object, a group, and an annotation. A data object is represented by a square symbol with the top right corner of the symbol turned down. Artifacts are used to provide information about the process or elements defined or produced within the process, but do not affect the process. Data objects are connected to other BPMN symbols by an association flow. An annotation, referred to and implemented as a note symbol in the Visible Analyst, is a text annotation used as a mechanism for the modeler to provide additional information for the reader of a BPMN diagram. A note object and a note link in the Visible Analyst does not maintain a repository entry. All information is written on the diagram as the note label. Notes are connected to a specific object on the diagram with a note link line, but neither the note nor the note link line affect the flow of the process. A group is a visual representation around a number of activities. Groups are represented in the Visible Analyst through the use of symbol coloring to indicate members of the group. In order to develop a BPMN model, it is important to understand the business processes being modeled. This tutorial lesson demonstrates modeling the activities performed by a Department of Motor Vehicles to test a driving applicant's driving knowledge before issuing the applicant a license to drive. After the lesson is finished, you will be able to identify additional business processes and how they interact with the model. Here we see the finished BPMN diagram